Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're on a bit of a mission, really. We want to extract the absolutely crucial insights from the folks defining the future of digital risk.
Yeah, and we're diving into a pretty rich source for that, an interview looking ahead to the 35th Securmática Congress. That's a big one in the Spanish-speaking world for security.
35 editions.
Yeah,
Well, that's significant, isn't it? It suggests this isn't just about the latest shiny object.
exactly. It's running October 7th, 8th, and 9th, 2025. And this is where, the quote-unquote deans of information security gather. We're talking decades of experience applied to today's problem.
Focused on the corporate world, mostly.
Primarily, yes, but with clear links to keeping society as a whole safe. It's about what leadership needs to do now.
Okay, and the starting point they identify. It's pretty stark, actually. The source says society is all in on digital, but we are, and this is their word, defective.
It's blunt, but it frames the problem well. This defectiveness, as they see it, shows up as digital vulnerabilities. They use a great term, goteras, leaks.
Leaks.
Well,
Like systemic weaknesses.
Sort of. The idea is we haven't really done the hard work, the training needed to operate safely online. And maybe the digital services themselves aren't robust enough, not inspiring enough confidence for people to engage without fear.
So it's deeper than just tech fixes. It's cultural.
Absolutely. Requires constant, persistent attention, not just a firewall update.
Okay, let's unpack this through that corporate lens you mentioned. The conference focuses there, and the source talks about the big players kind of setting the pace.
Right. They call them the tractor companies. Think big banks, major industrials, the ones with the resources, and, frankly, the most to lose digitally.
They have to innovate first,
They're forced to. Their scale means they hit the problems first, they develop solutions first. Their successes, and maybe even more importantly, their failures, their stumbles, that creates a learning curve for everyone else.
That makes intuitive sense, and they give us a specific example, don't they? A Spanish financial entity.
Yeah, one that has, get this, more clients than almost 2 times Spain. Just imagine the strategic challenge there. Their risk isn't just internal, it's almost systemic for the economy. So they build massive expertise in securing complex, often global operations.
And the rest of the industry learns from that.
Learns from their project management, their compliance battles, even when they mess up. That knowledge trickles down.
But what about the public sector? If the corporates are the tractors, the source was quite critical about government entities, suggesting they've lagged behind.
Historically, yes. The critique was that they lacked doing their homework on citizen focus and cyber readiness. It's acknowledged.
But that's changing.
Apparently quite drastically. The source points to an unexpected irrigation of budgets for cyber protection now.
Unexpected. Why?
Geopolitics, basically. The current global tensions are forcing governments to allocate serious money to national cyber defense. It's a direct response to the threat landscape.
But is funding the whole solution? If geopolitics drives the budget, is that sustainable? And do they have the people ready to use that money effectively?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? The source hints at this challenge. The money might be appearing, but effective execution needs more than cash. It needs strategy, talent.
And collaboration, presumably.
Precisely, which leads us to maybe the biggest theme, collaboration, especially when tackling digital fraud.
Okay, digital fraud. Why is that treated differently from, say, network breaches?
Because it's fundamentally horizontal. It doesn't stay neatly within one company's walls. It jumps across sectors.
How so?
Well, it hits citizens directly, it involves banks, retailers, and then it spills over into public services if identities are stolen or government portals are faked. It's a cascade.
And the source warns that if collaboration doesn't improve,
things could go very badly for the whole social and economic system. It's that serious.
so radical cooperation is needed. They mentioned private efforts, getting competitors to work together.
Yes, dropping the jealousy and reticence, as they put it. The prime example given is frat defense.
Frat defense?
Yeah, it's an initiative where major Spanish financial players are pooling threat intelligence and defense strategies.
Why now? What changed?
Sheer necessity. Fraud has become industrialized. No single bank, no matter how big, can fight it alone anymore. The volume, the sophistication, it's overwhelming.
So overcoming competitive instincts was hard, but the threat forced their hand. Any specific hurdles they had to clear, like regulations?
The source suggests it was more about mindset, competitive secrecy, maybe some data sharing concerns. But the cost of not collaborating, the fraud losses, just became too high.
And having top figures like the global CISO of Santander speaking about it at Securmática shows it's real, not just talk.
Exactly. It signals a genuine operational shift.
It's not just private companies talking to each other. It has to be broader. Public, public, public-private.
Absolutely. They highlighted a presentation by Javier Condo, the new head of cybersecurity at Spain's National Cryptologic Center, the CCN, that signals the importance of government and industry working hand in glove.
Makes sense. Are there other areas beyond finance and government where this kind of sector-wide agreement is desperately needed?
Oh, definitely. The source lists a few critical ones. Industrial cybersecurity is a big one. The health sector, too.
And identity. That sounded crucial.
Hugely crucial, especially with things like the big European digital wallet projects. The source suggests leaders are shaking with fear about getting identity wrong.
Why such fear over identity frameworks?
Because identity is the absolute foundation. If you compromise that single digital key, especially one designed to work across borders for banking, services, everything, the impact is catastrophic.
So banks, telcos, governments, they have to cooperate on securing that. No room for jealousy there.
None whatsoever. It's an existential requirement for the entire digital economy they're trying to build.
Okay, that leads us nicely into the technology itself. The pace is just relentless, forcing big changes, consolidation.
Yeah, the source highlights two really major technological shifts or mutations happening right now.
Okay, what's the first one?
The first is this deep convergence between identity management and network security. The source is emphatic. The old separation between those two worlds, it's finished. Over.
Why was that separation ever a thing, and why is merging them so critical now? What vulnerability does it fix?
Well, historically, there were often different departments, different technologies, but the reality today is most serious breaches start with stolen credentials, compromised identities.
Someone gets a password.
Exactly. And if your identity system doesn't talk instantly to your network monitoring, that attacker can wander around inside your systems for ages before anyone notices.
So merging them closes that gap. Any examples?
The big one cited is Palo Alto Networks effectively joining forces operationally with CyberArk. That's a strategic marriage of network visibility and identity control into one defensive layer.
Okay, identity and network merging. What's the second big tech mutation?
This one is about data, just the sheer overwhelming volume of it. They use a very memorable phrase, the diarrhea of data.
Slight chuckle.
Okay.
Graphic, but it paints a picture.
It does, because the data isn't just vast, it's often ungovernable. Another term they used was mrigidilla, like a chaotic, messy tide washing over analysts.
So how is the industry responding to this tide?
Through platformization, basically building huge integrated systems designed to ingest, process, clean up, and actually use all that data to make it actionable, not just noise.
And we see this in acquisitions, right? Like CrowdStrike buying Onum. How does a move like that tackle the data diarrhea?
It's about building smarter digestion systems, essentially sophisticated SIEM capabilities, security information, and event management. Onum brought key tech for that.
So it's not just about collecting logs anymore.
No, it's about intelligent filtering at scale. Using AI, using smart analytics to instantly pick out the critical threat signals from that massive, messy tide of data. Stop analysts from drowning.
And this data mess isn't just external signals. Internally, companies are fragmented too. The source mentioned something about fiefdoms.
Yeah, that within a single large company, you might easily have 20, 30, even 40 different security tools or platforms. Little technological fiefdoms.
Which creates
an incredible mess, according to the source. Their word was carajal, a total tangle.
And companies are trying to fix this internal mess too.
Yes, they mention a Spanish company, CNAP, working specifically on domesticating this internal carajal. So platformization is both about managing external data and rationalizing the internal chaos.
Okay, so platforms are merging, data is overwhelming. What about the people leading this, the CISO role? The conference slogan itself sounds like a warning. Llegados aquí, hay que seguir aprendiendo. Having arrived here, we must continue learning.
It's a direct mandate for the classic Chief Information Security Officer. The message is clear. The role must evolve. It's mandatory.
Evolve how? Away from the tech.
Not away from it, but beyond it. The CISO needs to get out of the machine room, stop being just the top tech troubleshooter, and really fuse with business needs.
So being the best firewall expert isn't enough anymore.
Not nearly enough. The job has fundamentally shifted from managing purely technological risk patching configs, etc., to managing digital risk as part of overall enterprise business risk.
Can you give an example of that difference?
Sure. If that big EU digital wallet identity system fails, it's not just a tech glitch for the CISO to fix, it's a catastrophic business failure hitting revenue, compliance, reputation, everything. The CISO needs to understand and articulate that business impact to the board.
So they need to speak business, not just tech.
Precisely. The language of revenue, strategy, market position, not just patch cycles.
And what kind of person, what skills does this new CISO need to navigate the tech carousel and talk business?
The source points to things like imagination, ingenuity, the ability to connect disparate dots, to cross-reference information in new ways, and critically, being able to leverage AI tools not just for alerts, but for strategic insight.
Sounds much more strategic and maybe more interesting.
Definitely more challenging, but also potentially much more rewarding and influential as a career path.
Okay, one last, rather provocative point from the source. A warning about insolvencers.
Chuckle slightly. Yeah, it's a great term, isn't it? A mashup of insolvent and influencers.
Okay, what's the issue here?
The problem is that really complex, cutting-edge topics, think quantum computing, AI ethics, advanced cryptography, attract a lot of curiosity, maybe morbid curiosity, as the source puts it.
And these insolvencers exploit that.
They do. They create content that sounds smart, uses the buzzwords, mixes up unintelligible fragments, but often lacks real substance. It's designed purely for engagement, for likes and followers.
Just adding noise to the system. Chaff, or paja, as the source called it.
Exactly. And if you're that CISO who's already struggling with data overload and trying to think strategically, how much time do you have to sift through this intellectual chaff?
Very little, I'd imagine.
Right. And the danger is this noise pollutes everything. It makes it incredibly hard for busy professionals to figure out what's real, what's important, to discern the truth of things.
And this is likely to get worse.
The source fears so. They talk about a coming manna of money pouring into the cybersecurity sector.
More investment.
Yes, which is good in one way, but it also attracts, well, adventurers, people looking to cash in, potentially adding even more low-quality noise and confusion to the mix.
So leaders aren't just battling hackers, they're battling misinformation and hype within their own field.
That's a huge part of the challenge now. Strategic clarity is paramount, and this noise makes it harder to achieve.
Okay, let's try and summarize the core takeaways from this deep dive then. What should people be focusing on right now?
I think there are three big ones. First, digital fraud isn't a niche problem. It's systemic and demands radical cross-industry collaboration. Banks, telcos, government, everyone needs to work together, dropping old rivalries.
Got it. Collaboration against fraud.
Second, technology is consolidating fast. Identity and security are merging. Platformization is happening to try and tame that diarrhea of data and the internal carousel of tools. You need a strategy for that.
Okay, tech convergence and platform strategy. And third,
the leadership role itself the CISO has to transform. It's moving beyond pure tech management to become enterprise digital risk leadership, fused with the business strategy.
makes sense. Collaborate, platformize, elevate leadership.
And all this loops back to that initial Stark assessment. Our digital world is inherently defective. Leaders are openly warning about communication breakdowns and these insolvencers muddying the waters.
So the final thought for you, our listener.
Yeah, if the experts are worried about discerning the truth amid the noise and clarity is more critical than ever, what concrete steps can you take, maybe even this week, to get better at distinguishing the vital signal, the grain, from all that overwhelming chaff in your own professional sphere? Something to think about.